Hey everybody, Dan Hellman here from Hellman Holistic Health, and welcome to this edition of the H3 video blog. Finally fully recovered from 2 weeks of teaching in England, and it's probably a good thing that I am, because I want to tackle a very difficult subject, and that subject is nutrition. Nutrition, nutrition, nutrition. Sometimes it drives me insane, but we got to talk about it. Have you noticed that talking about nutrition nowadays is seriously as polarizing and as dogmatic as talking about religion and politics? People are so set in their ways about nutrition that it's even difficult to have a conversation anymore. You have the vegetarians saying that, no, vegetarian's the only way. Paleo people say, no, paleo is the only way. Atkins people there, Pritikin people there. People saying, oh wait, you can't eat this food before that food. And let's just stop the insanity, because guess what? None of that matters anymore, and I'm about to tell you why. So I'm going to use my trusty whiteboard here to help keep me on track. I tend to get a little bit excited when I talk about nutrition. I may drop a few swear words, and if I do, I apologize in advance. Okay, first thing I want to talk about is let's stop all the damn monkey business. Now what I mean by that is I mean about this cultism over nutrition. Because at the end of the day, you guys, I don't care whether you're a vegetarian, I don't care whether you're paleo or not. At the end of the day, if you are not going out of your way to find the healthiest, cleanest, most organic, most free-range food that your money can buy, you are wasting your time. There's corporations out there like Monsanto that are literally slowly poisoning us. And if you don't believe me, just Google the world according to Monsanto and find out for yourself. Well, you probably come back and say, oh no, the FDA is taking care of us, right? Wrong. Did you know that Michael Taylor used to be the lead counsel for Monsanto, and he is now the head of the FDA? As a matter of fact, if you dig deeper, you will find that a lot of your congressmen and senators actually come from a Monsanto background. So no, the government is not looking out for you. You have to look out for yourself. So again, let's stop the monkey business. I don't care what nutrition plan that you fall under. We all have to start going out of our way to support small farmers, organic farmers, and stop supporting the big commercial farms which are slowly killing us. All right, now that I've gotten off my soapbox with that one, I want to talk about being a human being and getting back to the natural rhythms of a human being. As a human being, I have canine teeth. I'm at the top of the food chain. I'm an omnivore. And if you don't know what omnivore means, it means to eat all. And I'll let it go from there. So getting back to the basics, when I consult with my clients, I want to talk about the purpose of eating. I think a lot of us have absolutely lost touch with why we actually eat. Do we eat just because we're hungry? Do we eat just because the food tastes good, because it satisfies us? Yeah, but the main purpose of us eating is to fuel our body. Food gives our cells energy. Cells that run our cardiovascular system, our immune system, our digestive system, our elimination system, etc. Food is fuel, so we have to start looking at what foods are actually going to fuel my body. When consulting with me at H3 on diet plans, I get back to the basics like I'm telling you about, and there's basically 3 things that I look at for a nutrition plan. And the first thing is, we just talked about it briefly, is that eating, the purpose of eating is to fuel the body. Now I'm going to take that one step further. We want to try to normalize blood sugar levels, and I'm going to show you how we do that as we go on. So number 1 is food is fuel. The second thing is that our foods should support our thyroid and our liver. People are consuming so many foods now that suppress the thyroid. The thyroid is your energy producing gland, and I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but there's a lot of obesity There's a big obesity problem in the world today. The majority of citizens, the United States citizens and people around the world are actually obese or overweight. And the reason why that is because there's a lot of foods that are actually suppressing the thyroid. So when you eat just a little bit, you gain weight because you have no metabolism. So the food needs to support the thyroid and the liver. And the third thing, probably the most important, is at H3, our diet plans are anti-inflammatory. Now, what does that mean? Well, first of all, I don't care what you're suffering from. If you're suffering from obesity or being a little bit overweight, if you're suffering from arthritis, Alzheimer's, heart disease, cancer, digestive diseases such as irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, celiac, etc., they all get their start with inflammation. Inflammation is the beginning of every disease process in the human body. And my question is where does that inflammation come from? Well, it just doesn't jump into our body. It actually comes from what we put in our mouth. Most people are using their mouths as garbage cans, and you wonder why their bodies are so inflamed, and you wonder why we're suffering from so many diseases. You know, Alzheimer's, all autoimmune disorders have a huge nutritional component to them. So we need to make sure that the nutrition plans are anti-inflammatory. Again, so to recap, the nutrition plans at H3, 1, fuel for the body, balancing blood sugar. 2, supporting the thyroid and the liver. And 3, making sure that the foods that we eat are anti-inflammatory. Now the fourth thing that I want to talk about is the macronutrients. So remember I told you I want to stop the insanity, I want to get back to the basics. Well, we have 3 macronutrients. We have proteins, carbs, and fats. Let's make this really simple. Proteins, I just call those my eyes category. Anything that has eyes to see with is going to have eyes to see with, comes from something with eyes to see with, is a protein. So if you're eating meat, if you're having a piece of liver, if you're having a bone broth, if you're having a piece of cheese, drinking some milk, that's a protein, okay? That's your eyes category. Second category, carbs. I call that my no eyes category, and I'm going to make that even more simple. My carbs are only my fruits and my vegetables. It is my philosophy that human beings are not designed to eat grains. So second category, carbohydrates. My no eyes category, fruits and vegetables. Now my third category is my fats, and I don't have a cute little saying for the fats. Basically with fats, as a human being, you want to consume only a few types of fats. Those fats are real butter, coconut oil, some olive oil, and the fat that comes from your full fat dairy. Basically what I'm trying to say is that you should only consume saturated fats. But your physician will tell you that it's the saturated fats that are bad for you. And all I want to do is challenge you again is to look around you and see if the information that is being given to people is actually helping them or harming them. And again, I'll tell you that we are now the fattest, sickest, most depressed nation in our existence of mankind. So someone is getting the wrong information. And I'm telling you, in my experience, the only fats that we should eat are, again, butter, real butter, and I'm going to emphasize real, coconut oil, olive oil, and the fat that you get from full-fat dairy. So those are the 3 macronutrients, and I want to just expand on those a little bit further. Now, the protein, or the eyes category. Proteins are extremely important for your body. They're your body's building block. Your body is made of lipoprotein. So whenever you are working out, undergoing more stress, trying to recover from an illness, etc., your body's actually going to crave more protein. The problem with protein is when you eat it by itself, it tends to lower your blood sugar. It actually tends to crash your blood sugar. When you go low blood sugar, that's actually a stress response to the human body, and you release adrenaline and you release cortisol. Again, anytime you go low blood sugar, it's a stress response. It's responsible for leaky gut syndrome. It's responsible for all sorts of problems. It's responsible for lowering the thyroid, etc. So eating a protein by itself lowers blood sugar. Now, carbohydrates. When you eat a carbohydrate by itself, by the way, carbohydrates are our body's fuel. When you eat a carbohydrate, it tends to spike your blood sugar, then your pancreas releases insulin, and it lowers your blood sugar, again, causing the body to go into a stress response, and you release adrenaline and you release cortisol. So again, whether you eat a protein by itself or whether you eat a carbohydrate by itself, at the end game, you get the same effect, the release of adrenaline and the release of cortisol. The third thing, fats. Well, fats are beautiful, and people aren't going to eat fats by themselves, but let me tell you, fats normalize blood sugar, and fats tell you to stop eating. Fats are your body's satiety mechanism. The worst diet craze to ever hit mankind was the fat-free craze, because the fat-free craze just made us go overboard. So you got a box of Snackwell's cookies, which were fat-free, and you ate the entire box because it was fat-free, and nothing in there told you to stop. So you kept eating more and more and more and more. And again, the fat-free craze probably has caused more obesity than any diet scam that has ever hit us as a society. So now my question is if we know that proteins lower blood sugar, if we know that carbs initially raise blood sugar, and if we know that fats normalize blood sugar, the question is which ones do you eat? Well, I hope you all answer a little of each, and that's the correct answer. So it doesn't matter. At every meal, including snacks, in my opinion, you should always have a protein, a carb, and a fat at every single meal. So at Hellman Holistic Health, when we look at nutrition and lifestyle principles, we look at these individual steps and we help tailor these to the individual's lifestyle. We help by giving food lists, menu plans, snack ideas, dinner ideas, etc., etc. It's very difficult for me to tell each and every one of you on camera what to eat. We are all individuals. Some of us require more protein than others. Some of us require more fat than others. As much as we look different on the outside, we're different on the inside. But I want to stop this video with this thought. Again, I don't care what diet philosophy you fall under. The only thing that I care about is that you start searching out the healthiest, cleanest, most organic food that you possibly can find. And I'll tell you what, organic food is not expensive if you factor in the cost of cancer, factor in the cost of obesity, factor in the causes of all diseases and the curing of all diseases. If you factor in how much it costs us to clean up all of the fungicides, herbicides, rodenticides, pesticides that are sprayed all over the planet, if you factor all of that in, organic food is extremely cheap. Now, our motto at Hellman Holistic Health is better body, better life. But remember this, you can't have a better body without putting the right food in your mouth, because you are what you eat. Until next time, remember, go organic.